Welcome to the LSTV podcast. Was scrolling on Twitter this morning, saw a couple of things that got me thinking. Called this free money. So my comment was about the post from Eddie Morales Jr. Says there was a bank robbery Friday morning, Eagle Pass. The perp is a caravan guy with an extensive criminal record. Now, there's a lot of talk out there about the border crisis and stuff going on right now, and it's not like, this is a new thing, but, I commented and said, well, I guess when they got their debit cards and learned about fractional reserve banking, they figured the money was free. And, well, why wouldn't they? Because, if that's what they are advertising, is it really of their fault that they come to what is the place that is being advertised to them? And this got me into a little bit of a tiff when I heard something from one of our favorite media people out there, Mr. Joe Rogan. Had this interview on the Alex Jones InfoWars show. And if you listen to the whole thing, it's just great. It's great. I mean, it really is. He's a smart guy. He has a very well balanced view on things. Except, I take issue with something that he made a comment about, or continued to make comments about, when it comes to people who, don't go along with the official narrative very easily, and who are easily branded conspiracy theorists, which, I feel like, sometimes I may fall into that category because I don't obviously, believe everything that's spoon-fed to me in the free press. So, he kind of mentioned it a few too many times, and halfway through the interview, right after the break, he kind of, was making a comment along the lines of that the people who see patterns in everything, who think everything's connected, that his example of his fame, I guess, alone is an example of how random things happen and how not everything is connected. Right after he got finished talking about how his grandmother was doing bookie work for the mob, right after he got finished talking about the connections that he has in all the mobbed up places in New Jersey and all his high up friends, like his career is just some super random thing that just he has no idea, and that is evidence that these conspiracy theorists need to stop questioning everything. And so I take issue with the attack he was making on people who, in fact, most of the time, conspiracies were born from people who had worked in those industries for very, very many, many years, and they just happen to know the inside dirt and how the corruption goes, and it's whistleblowers and leakers. And yet we have all those different terms. We have whistleblower, we have leaker, we have conspiracy theorist, and yet they all kind of have about the same meaning. So I guess it depends on who you get to take your side when what label you get called, right? So, because, one of my biggest concerns with the whole news media that we're getting reported from these days is they're all taking this hit piece out on one guy over and over, this ex-president who cares about Donald Trump, but yet, they fear him, his buffoonery, his foolishness so much that he's going to become this world tyrannical dictator that's going to end democracy, just he himself alone. And so they keep on coming out with these personal kind of weird stories about him. And I mean, when you look at it with face value, it's vulgar, it's nasty. Nobody wants to think of government officials talk like this, even though we know they all talk like this. Even when we know that this is probably not the worst thing that any of them say on a regular basis. But if you look at the statement that is being reported on, and let's just take for granted that he probably did make that statement. I mean, is he wrong? Is there anything untrue about that? I mean, I hate to spread, there's some profane, indecent, verbiage, but I don't really think that he said anything wrong. I think in the most instinctive part of every one of ourselves, we know that he's absolutely right when it comes to that. So let's just check the sound. Still going? Yep, we're still going strong here. Okay. So getting back to the story today. Here's one for everyone, something that I thought we might all have some type of funny feeling about, at least. So For some reason, football itself isn't becoming a drama conspiracy show or some sort of professional wrestling kind of event. They're putting pop stars in it, so now we got this backstory with Taylor Swift and her boyfriend, and so immediately it's weird because that's not necessarily NFL's brand, it seems like, but maybe it has become that, I guess. But then now they got something for both crowds. They got the pop star love story with the very liberal left wing couple fronting the Super Bowl, and also something for the right wingers, some state psyop orchestrated. Now they're guaranteeing us, all of the articles right now are guaranteeing us that the real relationship between Taylor Swift and the star football player is not a state psyop orchestrated by the NFL and Democrats to work in Biden's favor. That's a very, very specific charge for conspiracy theory. I really didn't think that they gave that much credit to the conspiracy theories themselves, or even the intelligence of people who would believe such things to even put it in print that way. But that's why all that fronting that they're trying to do to distance themselves. I said maybe me thinketh thou doth protesteth much. A little Shakespearean line there. I think it's Macbeth, but what they're gonna do. They are just gonna get rich off of it. It don't matter what they say. It don't matter what they do. We got this guy right here, Mr. Lindsey Graham. Mr. Lindsey Graham wants to bomb Iran. he now he wants to go after the Meta and the TikTok, saying that they got the blood of the young users on their hands from letting that content get out there when they're blasting everything that they can throw at this kitchen sink on Twitter and Instagram. They developed that technology. They built the internet. They invested it in the early, and they got paid from the stocks that went up after it got released. And now they're using it some sort of moniker, some sort of like front campaign to say we're coming after the TikTokers to abusing our kids, when really it's a money grab, like it's all been. They've been making money off of it. Now it's just to get the light off of them. But really rich, like all of them got really rich. Mrs. Nancy Pelosi here bought millions in Nvidia stocks and then approved billions in subsidies for the chip makers. So her millions came from our billions that we gave them as a subsidy, because we can't live without more Nvidia chips. I mean, I can't imagine how we're gonna get by without them chips. It just and then what else they do? What else they do very quick? They look at the here we go. Yeah, and then to try to pass it off on us like we're just going to be so happy. They trying to pump us up. They said, "Oh, look, the U.S. economy added 353,000 jobs in January." But the unemployment rate held at 3.7. Do they think we're fucking stupid? You can post as many goddamn jobs as you want all day, and forgive my cussing, Lord, please bless me and take me to heaven. But I'm telling you, you can't tell me we have more jobs, but unemployment rate is the same. So those two things, they must think we're stupid, crazy, or both. And I guess that's why I get a little hot sometimes. You gotta forgive me, because I can't keep it all in sometimes. And this coming off the heels of, remember all those stimulus packages? I think we do. I think we all remember those stimulus packages. But here we go. We got the Financial Times. I'm gonna accept some cookies here real quick. And we're just gonna have to read down a little bit because here we go. So I had this earlier, and dang it, they ain't gonna let me open it now. They want me to subscribe. Well, sorry, Financial Times. I can't subscribe to you today. But I did save it somewhere. I know I did. Watch. I'm going to find it for you. What'd I do with it? I bet you I put it in here. No, not there. Don't put it in YouTube. Where'd my Firefox go? Oh, never mind. There it is. So, I believe, if you just hang with me for another minute, because try to look at my page, I would have put that. Well, son of a gun, I didn't. Well, we're gonna have to trim some of this out now. Well, I'm sorry, y'all. It was it's in this article right here. If I could open it for you, it's talk about how the job numbers is not a good metric for gauging the economy because it's full of inaccurate data, and you can't use. Okay, no, it was the stimulus packages. They were saying, well, the job reporting numbers, the unemployment reporting numbers was not accurate data to gauge the need for the stimulus packages because those are often misleading and miscalculated and whatnot. If you want to subscribe to the Financial Times, the link would be down there. And so, and something about how it was a good investment or a bad investment. Oh no, if there was a good or bad way to gauge the economy, and then I start thinking, well, who gets to decide good and bad? Who gets to decide what's the good and bad for the economy? Well, people like Elon Musk used to decide what's good and bad for the economy. And here we go. We want this dude right now. This dude wants us to start taxing the CO2. He says the only action to solve climate change is a carbon tax. We thought he was trying to help us out. We knew he wasn't. We knew what he was doing. We knew he was just making money off the subsidies these whole times. It ain't never going to end, folks. It ain't never going to end if you don't stop listening to what they say. They say believe in the science. Well, once they start following it, maybe we can start believing it again. I guess that's all I got to say. I hope this video works out. I know you have to wait through a lot of stuff to get to the end, but appreciate you sticking with me, and good night.